Landville Studios. Good morning and welcome to the first edition of the program Good Morning Salone for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today, na Monday, May 20th, 2019. We will bring the program come to you this Monday morning. Mina Khadija Bangora.
And Mina Mabel Kaba, good morning. Inside this edition of the program Good Morning Salone, the Director of Planning, Interagency Relation and Strategic Communication at the Office of National Security, Francis Langoba Kelly, don't say ONS advised NEC for postpone the Edman election at Waterloo because them fair not say some people be done in a different camp them where them believe say for don't unbug the election. The regional manager for the Second Construction Company Salone Limited, Mohamed Lamin Ba, say they not complete the Babadori and Mina Drive Road construction projects and yet because Guma Pipe and EDSA pole and still in at the side waiting for work. And inside the program this morning, Radio Democracy will talk to civil society organization them where they can talk about the National Peace and Cohesion Conference, where for be from the 23rd to 25th May.
Well, this and plenty other story them, they na the program for you this Monday morning, plus the Executive Director, na the Salone Road Safety Authority, David Pandanoa, say the military where them bring na the traffic operation, na one reason we make they able clear the traffic na Lumley. And work about safe day inside the program for you this morning. Members say they listen to we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by AfriCell. The program na Good Morning Salone. You can send we message on 077-981-981. Make your own contribution on the issues them where we they can discuss na the program this morning. Well, as you hear from one power headline story them today inside the program, Radio Democracy go talk to civil society organization them. We go talk about the National Peace and Cohesion Conference. We go be from the 23rd to the 25th of May this year. Well, na the studio this morning we get member them na different civil society organization them. Charles Lahai, in a African Regional Director, na Peace African Alliance Consulting, Educating and Training. We can look at the National Peace and Cohesion Conference. We will be from the 23rd to the 25th of May. Good morning, Mr. Lahai. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And self forget Marcela Samba Sise, in the Executive Director, na Campaign for Good Governance. Since every day we in the studio this morning. Good morning, Madam Sise.
Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, Sierra Leone.
And self would they expect Dr. Isata Mahoy, where they come out from ONEP, as we they look at the National Peace and Cohesion Conference, we for start on the 23rd to the 25th May. Una continue for the program, we will join on shortly.
The first issue we look at the program this morning outside the United Nations General Assembly being done put May 6 to the 12th every year as World Road Safety Week, when a term we can use for talk about road safety awareness. This year World Road Safety Week, the Salone Road Safety Authority organized different activities them we want pandem now for clear the traffic weekend in Lumley. And according to the Executive Director of the Road Safety Authority, David Pandanoa, the military they involve them people here in the operation because they say now that's made they able for control the traffic weekend in Lumley, and they say they go get for implement this same method na other parts in the city where don't they get serious traffic challenge. It talk more to Alex Lawrence Koroma about this operation.
Road Safety Week, the theme will be more on leadership in road safety. Take the leadership and say, since we're not the lead agency, we organize something where go create an impact where, we'll get people foresee what in road safety they're all about and how we go get some effect and people go know say we're there about and they do what in road safety say for do. This time I've been from the 6th of May. I'm going to be Global UN Week for Road Safety, and making day once a year of this UN one every year around this time. We also can get one in November, but then for African Road Safety Week.
And what will be the activity we saw in the week?
The activities we've been get a series of activities, but we've been say we'll concentrate on enforcement. And one of the area that will be choose the first area have been Lumley. For say we need forget Lumley flowing because we just see His Excellency the President Julius Madabio commission the bridge na Juba, and we see say even though we don't get 4 lanes na the bridge, we still get congestion na Lumley. It still will take a while, so we say well look the traffic management and see what thing we can do for allow traffic for flow na Lumley, for decongest the Lumley.
So I notice saying be the problem.
We notice a conflict really been there with people and the roads. Many people are there on the roads. We know say traders then they on the roads as well. So just because people then they on the roads and they cross anyhow, taxi them and Okada then keke then they stop anywhere for peak passengers, they have a knock-on effect where you slow down one area, the other area say they slow because somebody they pick or somebody they cross the road anyhow, anywhere, and or somebody they pick up somebody. That caused the conflict, or then the working on the road. And as a normal human being, you know, go just go bang somebody or hit somebody with the working on the road. You go slow down naturally.
We still now introduce or wanna bring in the military for like help for bring sanity in that area. After long years of traffic, we don't happen in the Lumley community. Why the military?
We've been believing in a joint effort. We know say discipline now one of the areas we being affected by this, and so we've been calling the military police for can help we with discipline. We've been get the police, of course, SLRSA, Freetown City Council, the drivers union, bike riders union, the keke or tricycle union, and SLRA staff as well. So we can get everybody. We had an operational order for all these set of organizations for come together for see how we can deal with Lumley. The military really not been kind for the discipline, for instill discipline in some areas. We've been saying for move people off the pavements themselves, traders off the pavements, and actually get people for walk on the pavements.
Many people they say this is not just a one-off thing, more like the involvement of military for make other dina areas like Lumley and other side away so difficult for control traffic. Una plan for like continue for the engage them, for the partner with them for make we get free flow of traffic.
We have seen say a walk. And so we definitely something with the work you go continue for use what's in the work, and so we go continue for partner with them as long as they not get any other engagements we then get for go for, but they're willing for day with we go and continue. And as well where we start now been few military personnel been get, but then the military then SFC then they come together one of the security briefings and see also the security issue, so they increase the amount of personnel we'll get for the NSF, which was good and nice of them. So we continue for thank them for the help where they don't give so far, and then continue for day and then plan for day for quite a while.
Well, that's not the Executive Director na the Road Safety Authority, David Panda Noah been talk to Alex Lawrence Kuruma about the Road Safety Week where Salone and other countries can be observed from May 6 to the 12th.
They continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, where they continue with the program. And as on a reform we headline earlier today, we look at the National Peace and Cohesion Conference, where go begin on the 23rd to the 25th of May. Well, if people can remember, this BNTM government don't they prepare for all the National Peace and Cohesion Conference, what they call the Bintumani 3. Well, for sake of this, on Friday, May 17th this year, but 300 CSO then been come together outside an old consultation about this peace and national cohesion conference. Well, waiting this then consultation mean as civil society organization them where they work in a different area them. Charles Lahai, we na the African Regional Director na Peace African Alliance Consulting and Educating Training, go can explain to we within this particular consultation we see so then all. Again, Marcela Samba say come out from CGG. As we all know, CGG don't work around the area of good governance. Instead of go talk on within the National Peace and Cohesion Conference mean na the area of good governance. But we'll start with you, Mr. Lahai. Owners CSO them, about 300 CSO them, wanna come together in all consultation for SECA, the National Peace and Cohesion Conference, we for start on the 23rd. Why the consultation at this stage?
Thank you, Khadija. Why the consultation at this stage? We all know, say, the topical issue now the country now about Bintumani 3. and civil society organizations then we get the leadership of Campaign for Good Governance, Peace Africa Alliance, Consulting, Educating and Training, Institute for Governance Reform, ONEP, West African Network of Peace Building, CCYA, Winner Center for Coordination of Youth Activities, and then SLUDI, Sierra Leone Union of Disability Issues, come together through support from UNDP, also backed by the Ministry of Political and Public Affairs, for make we bring civil society organizations across the country, for make we come look at this whole issue about Bintumani 3, this whole issue about national cohesion, this whole issue about peace. You will find out, say, across the board now, the discourse where they around Tanlek, the country Sidom and time bomb, or that the country is not peaceful at all. But we also know, say, whatever happens, civil society in a critical sector, regardless of whatever you say. And so we bring civil society organizations across the board, across the country. Not to all organizations, of course, go able for come for attend the session. So we limit them to 300. For make we come look at issues them we get for do with this whole Bintumani 3. Make we can look at within our civil society we self your role inside this process. Let we look at some of the fundamental elements them way this country need for make we able for push go before. For example, we look at issues around constitutionalism. We look at issues around the civil society itself. We look at issues around the political space, the political divide, this whole issue about winner takes all. We also look at the commission itself, where we go talk about Bintumani 3, the National Peace and National Cohesion Commission. We come together for really look at how we want to see the structure of the commission. We want to also look at waiting at the team that we go guide this commission for make able for work together. We also look at how people then go participate. When I say people, it means Sierra Leoneans, it means institutions where they contribute to the governance process. Political parties, for example, you want to see waiting the young people then go say, you want to see waiting persons with disability, you want to see the woman them, of course. So we come for 2 days for discuss the issue exhaustively. And inside the 2 days, we talk about just the issues them I don't highlight. And then we now look at the critical issues them, 3 critical issues them, where every sector thinks say they want let government pay attention to. For example, the young people them come with 3 issues, the persons with disability then come with 3 issues, the religious organizations then come with 3 issues, and then civil society then come with 3 issues. Now the issues then we get for meet again tomorrow for the what we call validation. For make we really see if waiting we discuss here and now they can put in a paper, and then that one they get for be translated into what we also call a position paper, where the youths them will come up with their own position paper, persons with disability will come with their own position paper, and civil society self will come up with their own position paper.
So Mr. Lai, we can look at the structures them and in a way for guide the country as we can go into Bintumani 3. But like you say, for you get the way forward, you go for no for Usa you come out, then you pave the way for Usa you to go. That take you back to Bintumani 1 and 2. What's good it don't do to the country from the time where them be meet, so now where we go towards Bintumani 3.
Okay, how I wish them be even change the name from Bintumani 3 to some other name maybe, because the consistency Bintumani 1, Bintumani 2, and Bintumani 3 they bring lots of questions. But Bintumani 1 and 2, I think say it teach we boku lessons, a learn we boku lessons as a nation, and we need for draw from them lessons them for make we able for push go forward. One of them lessons them now, how Sierra Leoneans then go come together, the culture of peace. And we get to understand the culture of peace and the culture also of peace education at this country. We know say plenty people then be involved in the Bintumani 1, Bintumani 2. But waiting be make we go Bintumani 1 and Bintumani 2. Now because war been there around we been get war in the country, and we all been the clamor for peace. So we go Bintumani 1, Bintumani 2 for let we discuss how Sierra Leone go take the peace process forward. That been take we to Lome. We go to Lome. Lome go give mandate for let government come back and do certain things. We go bring cohesion. We go bring people then together. And let we also not forget say that thing will graduate into the Lome Peace Accord signing, been come up with fundamental recommendations. One of the recommendations now that government for set up putting them in call the Commission for the Consolidation of Peace. And we all know, say, the Commission for the Consolidation of Peace, they been set them up in a way, but honestly, it not been quite functional. So now we don't come to Bintumani 3. The discussions around Bintumani 3, I think now will make more inclusive. We need to bring everybody on board. We need to know, in fact, why would they go Bintumani 3? Are we going to Bintumani 3 because there is war or because there is a potential for conflict? Or are we going to Bintumani 3 because we really want to go discuss the pathway to national cohesion? Are we going to Bintumani 3 because we really want to strengthen we own cohesion as a nation? So I think it's important enough for let we all understand why we are going to Bintumani 3, and not only why we are going, but who that then they go Bintumani 3. If it's about cohesion, then we'll get for make sure say it's an all-inclusive process, and then people then voices for be heard.
All right, continue for day with Rina the program. In case you just tune in, you did listen to Charles Lahai, and our African Regional Director on Peace African Alliance Consulting, Educating and Training. We will look at the National Peace Conference. We go start on the 23rd to the 25th of May. Again, Marcela Samba Sisede with Rina the studio in our Executive Director on a campaign for good governance. Of course, campaign for good governance, don't they work in the area of good governance in the country, and you we na the executive director Marcela, I don't talk on issues we get for do with good governance and sometimes can guide government on certain area them. Now government they prepare for go na the Bintumani 3 conference, and other political party them people they hope for see them day. At this time we will talk about governance. You think say the Bintumani conference is really timely in the country?
Okay, thank you very much, Khadija. But before I go to that proper, I just want to say the civil society meet will happen over the weekend. We were also part of it, and also most of the things that will come from that conference, they will form the basis of the me discussion this morning. But then, specifically, I want to mention the last program will be getting us Studio Radio Democracy 98.1. A number of issues that may come up, and one of the things that we are things that people then put forward, now this situation where I talk about president, and then I not call president, BO president in front of a name. So I want to apologize for that. That was a slip. I mean, it was a mistake to say his name without saying president. That did not get anything to do with the discussion what we get around unity, around peace, and around national cohesion. So I apologize for that. And His Excellency, and the Fountain of Honor, and him. Now the one where we think say for be the daddy for hold the country together.
Right.
So apologies for that. It was inadvertent. It was a mistake. It was a slip. I mean, when myself listen, I say, oh, I missed this. I didn't say president. So I acknowledge that, and I think say I want to apologize. So straight to the point, a number of things don't come up. People then they say, oh, CGG, I think say we need a national conference right now. You think say we there at war? People they ask several questions, and particularly so, as Charles don't mention, I think say the connection of the Bintumani name, they make people remember the civil conflict. But one of the things the way the minister, Ambassador Yom Keller clarified at the civil society conference is say if any other facility been they were big enough for take on the conference, maybe last in Miata, if I don't call her Miata one. Probably. So because a facility not been there for take on the conference, the only facility where they not been to money and I make it go to that Bintumani, and then no call her one because an established Bintumani 1 day and established Bintumani 2 day. So now I make them call her Bintumani 3. But to be safer and for let people understand, let we continue for call them the conference on national peace and cohesion, for let people then know say yes, it gets a very strong connection with we past, but we want to look at the present and the timeliness. So and people then they talk about why we need for talk. democratic dialogue very important.
And some people again don't they ask the question, say the Bintumani 3 way for come up if it really timely, the country not get that kind tension, they in as much as disagreements they between the political party them. So from the point of governance, you think say Salone really need this national conference at this time?
Absolutely, we need it, and I take a cue from you. Say we get tension with political party. That's why we need to dialogue. You know what in democratic dialogue they do? They present the space and opportunity for strengthening institutions. Political party now an institution in democracy, and an institution of governance. Political party get for understanding rules and get for understanding function. Political party get for be an entity, a space where they build democracy. If the political parties them not stable, if the tension they arise among political parties and within the political parties, they transfer Canada state. So all the more important reason for now we get this kind of dialogue, where the dialogue will present an opportunity so the voice they will not on the hear in a very collective and conducive environment. Finally we go sit down, let we talk about this. So yes, the timeliness, I mean there's never a good time for dialogue except now. One person go say, oh, why make this person not come, or why make that person they not they come. Me want for encourage from a good governance perspective, and from campaign for good governance, me want for encourage all entities wey dem don invite to this dialogue, then they not take away anything from anybody for go make you point, for go present say na this na we concern, and na this, and also a number of agencies, a number of institutions them, a number of groups then get serious concern. For example, over the past 2 days where we did na Miata conference on the civil society platform, you know, the disabled then come out very strongly with certain points. Then Charles don't talk around other issues the way they people they raise, but the disabled people then say we don't come out in that stage where, for example, we dey sit on our wheelchair the big. Now we don't go university, but look, even the offices they're not accessible for we. So they get very pertinent issues the way them putting at the table, and I think say political parties themselves get them concerns. Other civil society entities then get them concern, the religious bodies they also get them concern. I think if we want for make we country grow, we get forget about all them thing the way they pull we apart. Let me look now with the thing say, oh, this now we own them. I tell you, when it becomes the time of Sierra Leone, we'll be able to put Sierra Leone at the global stage, where I think bigger than any one entity inside.
So the timeliness of this now one big question where plenty people on the ask. We see week before last or so, civil society part of una self the call say let the government postpone them, let it not be the 23rd to the 25th, where they already don't put as a date for the conference. So waiting don't change. We make now all they say we forget her now.
So you see, one of the things there, if I just come out very strongly at the conference, will mindset and civic consciousness, right? You know, some of we institutions they don't they build civic consciousness, so we know what the opportunity mean. We've been calling for dialogue, we've calling for the space for art citizens voice, we've been calling political parties to interact, and so non-term no they go say now or later. So a number of people let me get for understand say yes, the preparation might not be good. Yes, me they not be don't call me for participate, but now there is a call for participation. Can we use this platform and begin lay na the table with issues? And interestingly, by the time we done that today conference na Miata, even the civil society themselves begin call say we need for restructure the civil society space. We need for get what we call a code of conduct where they guide civil society as so waiting our roles and waiting our function. They even they talk so we need for the gathering session here annually. So you see, other than where people been they see civil society they're like a disparate entity, but all each one saying that you get pro and con civil society. Everybody been the banging head. So for the first time in many years, civil society come together in that unified way and begin look inwards and begin talk the language where they're supposed to talk.
The issue of inclusion, when I want pandit then we make gonna be the call for postponement, for let everybody be involved. the government able for capture this, everybody don't be involved, especially so we get to do with political party them, we're very important na this conference.
So that is the point, that the Ministry of Political Affairs the lead on this, and I believe saying and all extend the green light to a number of parties. Me want for add my voice from a campaigner point of view, and no say some people mean for don't let them come in earlier, some people let me for don't for then at the planning stage, but I want for encourage each and every person. Let we think Sierra Leone, let we put Sierra Leone first, let we ensure say we put na the table the thing that we go make this country go before, and the thing that we go make this country better. And once we do that one day, now in a clear demonstration of how we want to see the country for day.
All right, continue for day with the program. Marcela Sambasise, Executive Director for Campaign for Good Governance. And again, we want to welcome Dr. Aseta Mahoy from WANEP as we look at, we talk to civil society organization them as government they prepare now for going to the Bintomani 3 conference. We first start on the 23rd of May. Dr. Mahoy, you don't listen to the discussion from Mr. Lahai, Madam Sambasise from the good governance point of view, and WANEP they work around nation building peace. And Salone they prepare now for going to the Bintomani 3. You think say we'll talk about peace, we'll talk about nation building, Bintomani 3 na the type platform we need for good discourse as a country?
Fambula, good morning. First of all, I want to tell Fambula and say one inside the Constitution section 5.2 provides say the peace, security and welfare of people in this country for be provided for. We mean say the reason we make the governments they try for all the Bintomani 3 now because that now a roadmap where then they try for establish what we call the national peace infrastructure. The reason is we all see since the end of the war we actually they try for make we day at the top ladder of what they say peaceful countries. And then quite recently, Sierra Leone don't be marked as one of the most peaceful country in West Africa. Fine, because we not get war. Yeah, but there are certain tenants where don't begin they come up since after the elections where we last all, we don't begin to see some divide, and making always talk say the peace where the effect where we get at this country compared to other countries them not to war on tribe, not to tribal war, not to sectionalism war. The war where we get na electoral politics, where na in the divide we as a nation. And since after the elections, we see say this one they go stronger because plenty people feel say they're not be included. Then don't exclude them from governance business. And then when certain people begin to realize say we are excluded, then it don't begin be a problem. We they see in our social media these days where plenty all kind audio, video, post them, then they go away, no they tell well, but a nation. Forgetting that we are sending a wrong picture to the outside world. Now make I come to your question. The question is if Bintomani 3 na the right platform. Well, I want to say the platform where we need for use now a platform where they bring people together. We for begin start at community level. We go to section level, to constituency level, regional level, to national level.
So not be done ready for reach it at the Bintomani 3.
Yeah, well, me think say me not think say the step where the government take na a bad step. Bintomani 3 actually dey in place, but waiting at they say now that for make you get like a bottom-top approach, you need to get the voices from the local community level, where I think say government supposed for don't start there, and in fact then try for build the parties them together, because where government say it they come for can create a peaceful nation, at least then for look back and try for forget all waiting to happen and bring everybody together.
All right, Dr. Mahoy, I'll come back to you, but quickly let me just take this short commercial break.
Sierra Leone Commercial.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody elect you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office elect you not get the account number. Buy Exalite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You no need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Sierra Leone Commercial Bank.
The program is still listening. A Good Morning Salone. They come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We will bring the program come to you this Monday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura
and Mabel Kaba.
We will continue with the program, and we still get civil society organization member them in the studio as we look at the National Peace and Cohesion Conference, where governments are prepare now for begin from the 23rd of May to the 25th. Before we go for that break, the earlier Dr. Aisata Mahoy, you be talk about the different stages them where as experts from peace and nation building, government for don't start from the community level, but again the political party them where na the main focus of discussion, listening to opposition party, for example the APC when are the main opposition, then get some concern and say before government for don't go into the Bintumani 3 other issues than they where them believe say now in they bring the divide, for example issues of inclusiveness in governance, petition cases, then a court, all length in there, then for don't discuss and force from a political party level before then go into the Bintumani 3. You agree with that particulars or concern then they?
Well, everybody go get a concern at this country, because myself go begin look at say then for begin for look at people where sometimes Ebola been down Hamburg where they not treat them right, then for begin for go to them back and try for talk for peace. All man go get in your concern. Now right concern them, then get right for raise them concern then they. But like how we they say, for the betterment of this country alone, we all for put we political party business aside and try for work as one. If other political party they talk say the government supposed for been don't look into the other cases them where they in a court. I mean then court cases and these are court cases. We been don't get cases them we don't lay down since time immemorial. Where then case then they know they talk them. They're not really ready for finish them cases then they. You know, this country we don't try for politicize everything in this country as well, because we they put politics into every facet of society. It don't unbog we, because even it don't clout we thinking. How we they think about how Salone for move forward, we don't hide all that one. They will not even take them into consideration. Let we begin come out inside we cloak the inside we political party business and try for say let we think nationalism now. If party A, if you know say the government where they in charge, know they do the right thing, meet them. Tell them say we need forget a discussion. You know, people then for try for begin to put Mama Salone business go before and forget about all other party business. Now, when they look at the international community, they try because for civil society organizations and other NGO them within this country, then begin they look at for say I've been talk about going at a local community level where the UNDP, UN Women, other development agencies then don't they support civil society organization and other people them for make them go at the local level, for make them talk to people them on waiting them feel say now the things them where they unbog this country, then they try forget things them where they come out from the people and say now this and this they unbog we. So we they look at the one and try for look at the recommendation and make I tell you the establishment of the infrastructure for peace, like how first I mean not talk say the constitution call for say the people then peace and welfare need for be promoted. Yes, you're right. But I can tell people in one thing where one EP don't do. One EP in 2015 when they do during this constitutional review committee business, and one EP been write a roadmap where then forward to the past government say this now like a proposition for say make we set up the national peace infrastructure we go able for look into. We put credible people and will make this commission very very much independent than others. Make people we credible they way for they look into the matters of the state. Fine, you see this na CSO na come with them, not to even government don't remember that one day.
So one have done the work around issues we get for do with peace. How this commission where the government they call this conference for so go get for help for strengthening Salone peace?
Well, in fact, this not the reason why make them the settlement, because all along people and they make recommendations say we need this peace infrastructure. How it go help? Now that as long as you make them very much independent, the voices of the people are being heard. Then when issues of national nation building happen in this country, make we see the true way, because the truth always na in the last. And not find make we take we all thing we politicize them. When we begin for make we depoliticize some of them commission they also then we begin to see the progress way then commission also they bring come. Building institutions, yes, it's fine. Now one building block of democracy that one day. When you build institutions and then the institution and the people and get trust in the institution and it can always better. So we for build trust in the people them we actually they help we actually they try for make peace then at this country. I think say building trust inside that particular institution like that one day will create a lot of how for call it go create a lot of changes in the country.
Continue for the between the program, Dr. Asata Mahoy. Let's come back to you, Charles Lahai. Among the different things them earlier we be the outline say una discuss as here so them ahead of the Bintumani 3. One way you talk about and the structures of the commission where government get for set up. This same commission we don't they see they work now other African country them where we don't go through the same situation where Salone they go through. So among the analysis they want to make as CSO, the people in a one way for take ownership of this commission. You think say Salone people are ready for this kind particular commission and the structures them we get for the in place?
I think so. And like my colleagues them say, we look at the structure within we think say the structure of the commission for be like. And one of the things we come out now that the structure forgets chiefdom, district, regional, and national level structures. We mean say, for instance, you will get head of the commission, you get regional commissioners, and then you get, district directorates them, and then you get probably focal persons them, at the chiefdom level. But I think one important thing we that go do for we, like we Marcella been they say, we don't learn from other countries, we don't implement infrastructures for peace. Sometime in November last year, we been get 2 days conference, roundtable conference in Home Suite Hotel, where we invite other countries them we don't get peace commissions, we don't get peace councils for let them can share best practices with we. And we been submit a report to government for let them look at that report. In line with other reports them where we colleagues them, CGG, IGR, and other organizations them we go do. So we realize say Sierra Leone go able for prepare instead for that. But one good thing where that they do for we, they create the space for dialogue. It also they help for make we build the governance architecture or maybe strengthen them. We Marcella been they talk about that. One thing we can straighten them in mind that this forum, this Bintumani 3, go help for make we able for strengthen with governance architecture. It go able for create the space, the fundamental principles and what we need for consider what they talk about good governance and how we go able for do that. Now for expand the space for civic education. Now what you go do again, it go help we also for make we able for organize ourselves as a nation. So the aspect of organizing ourselves as a state, organizing ourselves as a nation, very important. And that will also help for make we recognize with values and with national identity. So the whole issue of having this process, for be built on a platform where Sierra Leoneans then go feel say now we own this process. National ownership very important. We consider national ownership for be very important.
You make mention of creating the space for civic education. Again, the whole issue of civic education is centered around political party them, because when you look at the issues, the disagreements where they now the country where they lead with to this conference, it gets to do with political party. But again, if we talk about civic education, we therefore ask ourselves the question: how willing the political party they ready for take ownership of this civic education, go and talk to them people them about peace?
Khadija, how willing the political parties and they? I think so we get for go beyond that question small about their willingness. Okay, if you're not willing for drive a national process, we go bring inclusion. We go make people that know say, if you want to lead me, you've got to listen to what I say. So I think so we need for push an agenda. We go make political parties then commit themselves to waiting the people of this country want. So waiting that mean we need to look at issues around electoral integrity and violence, because when civic education don't fail, we they resort to that. Okay, and nothing stops this whole thing. We believe what we can always say, now my destiny, now we destiny, everything we they put into prayer, it is good, but I think say it has to do with our character. So the destiny actually walking they talk about is our character, and that character has to be demonstrated for let people they understand, for let Sierra Leoneans they know say political parties we get for rule, we get for take governance, responsibility, they're willing enough and they're ready, and then they show the commitment for let them drive the process.
All right, Charles, I will come back to you. Let's just come over now to Marcella Sambasise. You come out in a campaign for good governance, and when I done the work on issues we get for do with governance. And now let's look at ahead of the 3 days conference. The President Bio administration done the governance for over 1 year, and from then and day people on the raise concerns, especially political party them we get for do from the time for the election up till now, and say now then concern they don't really come up as a country, we're not able to tackle them yet. How realistic it be say 3 days conversation conference talk go able for lay as Salone we all we governance structures them together again?
Thank you, Mabel. In fact, I make win a campaign for good governance say, let these 3 days be the start of a genuine commitment towards addressing the concerns and the challenges around good governance. One of the biggest things that we need for points to the whole of political parties. Political parties as an institution of political socialization. The states they be mirrored, or the country they be mirrored around the entities that we were able to create. But one of the things that we get religious entities, where religious entities they don't they hold the country together. But one of the things that we not able to get right now, how the political entities therefore able to hold the country together. And so how we foresee political parties as agents of change. The unfortunate thing that we need for strengthening political parties then as Salone. Unfortunately, outside elections, the political parties they not get no program. Now I make 1 year down the line, it's like we still in an election mode. Now the political parties therefore don't go into the political party mode and begin do other roles the way political parties supposed to do at the state. In fact, when we talk about political education at the avenue that one, because they support us then they support us then they listen to them a lot more. So now the avenues then deal them for able for use for political programs. We get for look at political party strengthening. I think say by then say I will for begin get discussion around support to political parties and whose kind criteria they will get for access them support them. Because outside power, it's like the political parties then they become dormant. They know they get enough funding for take on the responsibility for post-election engagement. We're very important. The second challenge, when maybe you did talk about the challenges of governance over the last 1 year. A number of commissions then be created where some of them are offshoots from the reconciliation process will happen after the civil conflict. Then commissions they are supposed to be independent entities where for able for get technical people for guide the peace consolidation process. One of the things that what we did talk about is that democracy and peace consolidation is very much interlinked in a Salone, because as the civil war dey done so, democracy sef dey come, and we dey consolidate the peace together with consolidating democracy. So it's like a democratic peace consolidation. How they pan? So then entities here like the Human Rights Commission, the National Commission for Democracy, the Disability Commission. A number of them commission here so we then set up for the technical people we're for able to integrate the state.
All right, continue.
But
Go on.
unfortunately, we know they see much of them commission they have for let them take the role. And so as we they can't talk about a peace infrastructure and waiting a commission of peace go look like, we get divergent and opposing forces in the state. A peace commission for get
fixed deposit account, credit facility, all for you, me and you, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Salone for me and you. Kids future savings account, school fee savings account, pay advance salary scheme, we branch and they all up on Salone. We dey Kabala Mabego Kakambia, we dey Jala Freetown Lone Star, we dey and my lengthy one. Me and you, Union Trust Bank, me and you, Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, Salone for me and you. Union Salone Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
We dey continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. I come over to you now, Dr. Isata Mahoy from WANEP. Earlier, when you start for talk, you described the peace conference as a roadmap where will lead to nation building, lead to good governance and other things them we will bring Salone people in together. But ahead of this conference, we don't hear rumor of certain set of people them where they say, especially political party them, then go boycott the conference because they not believe in them, they not think say the country need them, and a taxpayer money government they take for organize this kind of conference. If boycott from political party they happen, what in this mean to the nation building where government they try for put together?
In the first place, for any political party we think say them for boycott this conference, well, I don't think say they in the interest of the state, because I think like I begin to say that we for put political party business aside and think nationalism. Any true patriot where they see na the nation and they try for bring peace and try for pull all violent conflicts away, then you they say they boycott that particular process, then I don't think say a true patriot of that particular nation. I only hope say these are rumors, and I hope say not to true, because if it be say not true, then they know they do good for the citizens of this country. Waiting me one for say in the first place now that one, we don't get waiting we call a green paper where now they work towards the development of a white paper till they enact the law. That green paper they, from the first glance when me don't take a look at them, they try for talk say one of the good things them or things them we go happen, we go make Salone be a peaceful nation. Now that we for try for work as a country where one we for try for exclude people them political inclusion. If for they then for include every facet of society, all sectors, like even like in gender aspects as well, then for try for look at make we create a conducive environment where everybody, be you man, woman, pikin, youth, disabled and any other person, can able for participate fully, make your voice be heard. So your contribution where you they make or where you get concern, then for take them into very serious consideration. So me think say so far waiting me don't see inside the green paper where if government act on them, then it will be very good for a nation. like Salone, because with make I say government act on now, we don't get plenty law in this country, we don't get plenty policies, we don't get plenty documents them where would they try for like and domesticate also other law them from international organization them. But the implementation can be very very much challenging, because we know they try for look at what's in the documents they also say. When you check most of all of the laws themselves in this country, but could then get very good and strong recommendation in there or things that we for act upon. But we not can act upon them. Rather we they use we own pattern for try for play with them law then day. So we for try for the change that whatever law we they bring come way now towards building states national peace cohesion. I think say that law they will for try for work with them tranga one and make everybody be included. The reason we make people in the field say they are left out or then they boycott now because yes they left them out. Some of them feel say they don't left them out. So then for try for bring everybody together, make we all work as one.
Continue for the with we in the program, Dr. Azata Mahoy from ONEP.
We will look at other issues now in the program as the Director of Planning, Interagency Relation and Strategic Communication at the Office of National Security, Francis Langoba Kelly, don't say now ONS advised NEC for postpone the Edman election at Waterloo because they cannot say people be in a different camp them where they believe say for the unbug the election. Well, now some people in the Waterloo community say they want for let NEC hold the election quick one because they say they believe say now because of this election they make violence they be in the community. For more on this, Musa S. Kamara go reports.
Because if they say election no go right, say go campus work by your.
Me are not happy no more the postponement of the election. Because this postponement they cause more chaos.
Not only you can't tell we say we have conduct the election quick along forget about that. If they conduct that election behold 9 chances out of 10, like now other thing they talk now Waterloo, so they die for commodity. Because based on we intelligence estimate, we know what them we don't plan for.
Exchange between some community people from Waterloo and Francis Langoba Kelly, Director of Planning, Interagency Relations and Strategic Communication Department at the Office of National Security (ONS) for Seka the Waterloo Edman election way next stop. People go members say Saturday, May 18, na been the date for the Waterloo Edman election, but on Friday, May 17 this year, the National Electoral Commission (NEC) inside one press release been stop this election and push them to date with no pickets. According to this release, now because of one letter where they received from the Office of National Security (ONS), we ask them for stop the Waterloo by-election way for be May 18 this year. The Director of Planning and Interagency Relations and Strategic Communication Department in the Office of National Security (ONS), Francis Langoba Kelly, explained the reason why they ask NEC for stop the election force.
You get grants in which you can cancel elections. If you feel say the security situation not permit for later elections they hold, you can recommend to NEC for later suspend the elections and postpone them to another date. So exactly we find out say 2 days to the elections, the situation don't degenerate, both with intelligence and the facts what they see on the ground. So recommend to NEC, we inform the Vice President, we say in the interest of peace, Lord cancel this election.
According to Francis Langoba Kelly, them be done they study the situation na the Waterloo community ahead of the Edman election and self say they be done they record the violence incidents them and the reason behind the violence.
We get incidents them, over 8 to 10 incidents whose side physical violence they come up. You know, whose side people they perpetrate tribalism, whose side people they display high levels of political intolerance. We get an assessment paper we will do. We get instances of any of the incidents they always happen. And the last one we'll get, people we don't camp. Both parties we don't camp people there for cause violence on elections day. I mean on Edman elections, would they take and make a do or die situation? I don't think it's healthy for country.
I go on the ground now the Waterloo community for know the reaction of people for sake of the postponement of this election.
And this election, to be honest, is a violence election. So if they do so, a better small for the institution calm down a little bit, then conduct the election now.
I don't feel fine because it's like to at least NEC for try for allow the election carry on. At least because the postponement is not nice because it's like God or that thing could happen, 35 could happen back. So it's like they don't commence the election. Me are not happy no more the postponement of the election because this postponement they cause more chaos, tension there. Now something no more the people are safe. But when net camp, everybody they afraid for common safe na do. They call all the bad year, everybody they work out with arm there. So man night they work out net safe the fear for let somebody no boss behind back and damage her.
So me like me, I not say the postponement of this election is good. Because if me don't done, at least we don't get peace back.
As plenty people believe say, this election for don't hold the day with them put, make them call on the National Electoral Commission and then partner them for hold this election quick one for reduce tension at the Waterloo community.
What would they beg the authority? Say, do ya the election make it go? Who that win? Who that lost peace go there? Who not get wrong boy picking the work for go challenge them when they come? So do ya na beg with the beg authority? Say, do ya make we get peace? Make the election. Do that win? Who that lost? He lost.
I don't see so many in my election. I don't want to see in my election parties. But this time around, it don't go to parties and business. We don't cause for the thing become more violent. So the need for sensitize the people more for telling them, say, election here, in my election, is non-partisan. It's non-partisan.
Well, me are the big no more at least. They are already in charge, like NEC. They didn't try for come with a suitable date where at least they will try for let this election done once and for all. At least let this problem all done now Waterloo.
Where he respond to them concern, Francis Langobakeli say, this election no go all under the political tension where they Waterloo right now.
Well, not they go call NEC for conduct the elections quick one. If they behave themselves, NEC not get any reason for postpone that election. If they behave themselves, security sector for just go, we provide security for the elections, all man go about in business. But when not they behave with themselves, when are they fed, when are they chap, when are they cost, when are they stone. You understand? Not that you can't tell we say would have conduct the election quick alone forget about that. If they conduct that election, behold, 9 chances out of 10. Like now that thing they talk about Waterloo. Because for business, they die for commodity. Because based on we intelligence estimate, we know what them we don't plan for do. On both sides. Yeah. So for now, we they assess the security situation, let tensions go down, we they put the necessary security apparatus in place, we they go back for conduct that elections. Anybody we get the tendency to create any disorder, the law will take in concern.
So how soon this election will be?
I'm not going to tell you how soon, Mr. Kama. I'm not going to tell you how soon. But be rest assured, we assess the security situation as soon as possible. The elections will be held.
As ONS continue for hold on them position, not for hold the election under the current tension where they say Waterloo gets now. People now Waterloo community continue them call on authority them for make this election hold quick one so that then go get peace na the community where they say no day because of this election. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa S. Kamara.
GhanaSongs.org. They causing confusion.
But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in World Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen, me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when a one day come na this country, and a one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
We will continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We look at more issues inside the program this morning. Every year, Salone don't they join the world for celebrate World Information Society Day. This year, the National Telecommunications Commission NATCOM go celebrate this day in Moyamba District for talk to girl picking them about the internet and ICT. Also, the Deputy Director General and the National Telecommunications Commission NATCOM, Daniel Kaitibi, said this year celebration then targets girl picking them because they say plenty girl picking them don't left behind pan technology business in the country. Daniel Kaitibi talk this inside one meeting in Moyamba District where NATCOM and then partner them go celebrate this day with the theme bridging the standardization gap. Kabia Bide part of this meeting and Iguna report.
Inside 1968, the United Nations being agreed for make country them na the world use May 17 every year for celebrate the World Information Society Day. where this na day, when for raise awareness about technology na the world, especially the use of internet, mobile phone, and other telecommunication facility them. This make this year the National Telecommunication Commission NATCOM with them partner them go celebrate this day na Moyamba district. Outside them go engage gal picking them on how them for use the internet with the team bridging the standardization gap. Daniel Kaitibi, na the Deputy Director General for the National Telecommunication Commission NATCOM, talk about the importance of this day and why they celebrate them at Moyamba district.
Our purpose here today is really to see how we can train girls to know what ICT is and how to use ICT. Since the inception of ITU, which is way back, today we decided to bring it to Moyamba because it has always been celebrated in Freetown. This is the first time it's being celebrated in Moyamba town. Whilst the people of Moyamba were complaining, I was thinking, and I have basically, when I go back, I'm going to call the managing director for SALCAT, whose responsibility is basically to manage the fiber optic, to see whether, one, we have fiber optic in Moyamba. If we don't, then talk to him, and I know he will do it to see whether he can get fiber into Moyamba.
Daniel Kaitibi continues say this year celebration then target gal picking them because most of the time gal picking them don't they left behind by technology business na the country.
Girls are disadvantaged in everything, everywhere and every sphere. This country, the world, globally, and so we want to bridge the gap, not just gap between the haves and have-nots, but also between gender. And so the girls are being targeted because we want to reduce that. And the idea here is to see how, from schools or primary schools, you can know how to use computers, and then when you go to college, it becomes easy. I am here representing my boss and chairman and the director general as well. So when I leave here, their concerns and their cries will be re-echoed. I will tell them exactly what we have heard, and of course, I'm a son of the soil. I will see what I can do. It's very close to my heart. Growing up in Moyamba has always been dead, dry, and dead place. That actually was my first priority. Get NATCOM back into Moyamba.
Aja Mami Vanja, na the local court chairperson na Kayamba Chiefdom, Moyamba district, say for long term now, communication business don't die na this district, and say they're glad for this new development.
Daddy, they tell you say communication business if it don't die now. That fiber optics will be the talk about. And they tell you say if it don't originate now, then build a machine. Now behind post office, they can't build them machines, and they one morning I left sit down, now somebody run, he say Aja Mami Vanja, that machine where they build behind post office, they don't can dismantle now. Now I go there and meet big truck tin up that fiber. You have before the headquarter, and that was the end of it. The information people them all Orange is that Seratel, then they bring communications then to who they buy. You know they work well. Now then they left with. We not enjoy.
But how the young people na Moyamba district welcome communication back na den district. James Kowi, na the district youth leader, explain.
For far too long, we the young people them na Moyamba district, we dey behind. But we think say with this new direction, we go smartly sync with ideas and with ambition to make sure say Moyamba better. We want to say we arms are open to accept any development in the Moyamba district. We the young people them we want to explore the ICT and find ways how we will create jobs for other young people them.
James C. Vanja, na the chairman for the Head Teacher Council Moyamba district, talk about how communication important to them.
Communication is power, and now we are in the technological age. We go school, we not be there at the technological age, but your own age, everything about you is technological age. Moyamba, the saddest thing about the communication of Moyamba no get internet facility. The only internet facility we within a social welfare. Who all be the crowd, they go enjoy that facility. The former minister of social welfare, they go meet again. People in the car, Moyamba will say when I get internet cafe, that word there is foreign in Moyamba.
Waiting then gal Pikia learn from this training.
I learn a lot. I learned for 15. One, I learn about social media where they say don't for snap naked picture for poster. With the Moyamba people they want light. I feel good because some people they don't get access to the internet because of one, the electricity not there in Moyamba, the light not there. While the government bring light.
Then Pikia end up calling government for improve technology system na the district and develop other area dem wey go make dem get access to the new technology dem na the wall for the Society for Radio Democracy. Yenokabia the report.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue, and at this time we look at message we wanna don't send at the text line and the Facebook message we wanna don't send to the issues where we discuss at the program this morning. This very first one they look at the text line, the post they say will live in humanity leave out the TRC peace infrastructures.
This other one they say, we say talking and engaging is good, but an approach like Bintumani 3 does not necessarily address the issues at the heart of our problems. What we have is wrangling among political parties, and frankly, because that does not warrant a whole conference that's only in the name of the people. Government could have invested the money in urgent issues that affect the everyday life of the people. What they need to sort out their political issues is cross-party dialogue that is genuine and meaningful. APC must accept that they have lost the elections and focus on constructive opposition. The SLPP should begin to act like they have the mandate of the people and govern for all. No matter how many conferences we hold, as long as they keep players, the political parties are not sincere to pursue peace, we will definitely need Ibintumani 4.
This other message said the people need equal rights and justice before peace. It comes out from Kroma APC.
This other one they say, how will Bintumani 3 address the bread and butter issues? It comes out from Mark 10 and New England Vale.
This other one from Bendu Kalona, the Facebook page. It say people they get issues with government for blow mind, na WhatsApp groups and on Facebook. Na korokoro blow mind na Bintumani trouble no go dey. Which measures they in place for protect people, like how the work business can so.
This one they say the issue of national division is central on politics. Therefore, the only path for the success of Bintumani 3 is to console the opposition, especially the main opposition, to attend and participate fully, else the conference will not be fulfilled.
This other one on the Waterloo Edman election, the person say for peaceful village headmanship elections is in Waterloo. A structure similar to chieftaincy should be used so that only Sierra Leoneans with strong family ties to the village take part in the village headmanship elections. They come out from Victor.
This other one they say we can only have a proper conflict resolution by using the bottom-top approach, which is not visible in this scenario.
This other messages say inclusion is all we need in Sierra Leone. If the political leaders give space to the oppositions to operate and the oppositions allow those in power to operate, we need no Bintumani 3.
Alright, few more message. They will come to studio guest them for respond. This one they say there will be total peace when the APC realize that they lost the election, that is not their God-given right to always be in power, and that they should oppose constructively to push the country forward.
This other one said 98.1. We want to see the government call on the opposition for peace, but still there are intimidations and molest, and other opposition party leaders are crying foul. For Bintumani 3 to hold, we need cohesion. And from their message, and they will come over to the studio guest them as we get different civil society organization in at the studio this morning, where they talk about the National Peace and Cohesion Commission, where the conference will be from the 23rd to the 25th now Bintumani. And
structure for peace of the Peace Commission, and the processes they take from the green paper to the white paper, and then it go for cabinet for cabinet approval, and then it go parliament, and then it becomes a law. I think say all them process them will be explained. If we not be one Bintumani 3, we be for don't talk them. Perhaps we serve as civil society now, they maybe we get them wrong. For the civil society, we say the Bintumani conference not for hold. But like how Marcella been talk, by the time we done we own 2 days conference, we all been done see the relevance for the Bintumani 3 conference. And like she said, opportunity nothing where you know they play with. You never know when he will come back. But from all the comments and way people and don't make, the text messages and way people and don't talk about, you know, cross-party dialogue, bread and butter issues, you know, for protect people, of course, protection, security, and government responsibility down there. And then, of course, the opposition, the attendance. One thing I go say, we been come out very clearly now with discussion. Now, what we call civic culture, and what we also call political socialization and cohesion. I think say this conference can be used, can be utilized, you know, judiciously. The space for be utilized judiciously for let we bring all of the issues them. One, for let we use them as a conflict resolution mechanism or an alternative dispute resolution mechanism, and also as a way for make political parties then participate in a process we require them participation. So I dey expect say, and I will use this platform again for talk to the political parties them. For let we all use this as an opportunity. We are not at war. Like how we all don't emphasize now, we know they at war. But if the Bintumani 3 is talking about national peace and cohesion, I think we for use that space there for discuss among ourselves, for look at the issues the way we think, say what is it that we could have done better, that we have done that we could have done better.
Quickly, Mr. Lahai, during this una consultation, anything like una this yes to them get a responsibility again for play after this national dialogue? Everybody don't agree say yes. Everybody need for talk. You need for talk waiting at your own issue, waiting things that they monitor you. But una as yesterday again get responsibility for ensure say una monitor some of the things them we get for come out from this conference. Let government do them. Let not be say they just go meet talk at the end of the day. They're not able to do the things the way they agree upon.
And that is the fundamental role of civil society. Like one of my colleagues been talking about, you know, the divisive role with civil society self can play. I mean, first thing you get the pros and then you get the cons, civil society. Now, we self don't do what we call an introspection. We don't look at we self. We don't look at we self and look at the direction where civil society for take. So this 2 days conference where we hold, be help a lot for redirect we own focus. For we make sure say one, we build we own power base as civil society. Number two, for let we ensure say we are an organized body, an organized force. And number three, for let we make sure say we can speak with one voice. We go bring we to the fourth one, we go make people then recognize we and government recognize we. So the role of civil society for drive this process, not only for drive the Bintumani 3 conference, no, but for ensure say the national peace and cohesion process, you know, I mean, becomes a national issue and Sierra Leoneans and go feel say na their own process. So civil society role is very critical, and we don't see say until we self play that role there, we not go change the narrative of all what we they talk about.
Alright, we come over to Marcella Sambas. Say now you don't listen to people in text messaging, and as you respond to them text messaging, they ahead of the 23rd. Who that's them would they expect at this conference? Wait for make it be a reality at the end of the day. We know we don't go waste time, taxpayers' money for organize the conference, and the country still like how we do.
I think say if it be all shades of society, if it be a very inclusive process. If you look at the debates from 2 weeks ago, they find out that the debates don't shift. Even the text itself, the question that we then they ask, you don't shift from timeliness, do we need it, are we at war, all then discussion, and they don't. So there's been massive massive progression from the last time probably we'll begin to talk about this, and now where I think they're very positive. But moving from Uda for Dede, where we they call for an inclusive process. A number of people feel say they don't left out. They may for like for they from the start, for they from the planning for ONAM. But we want for still encourage as many people where they don't invite to the conference to participate in the name of Sierra Leone for love of country. But moving beyond the conference outcome. How will they set the agenda after the conference? Let it not be just a number of issues laid on the table, but let we get a roadmap for implementation. I think that one day, nine at the bottom line of it all. We are going to, as a country, set up a peace infrastructure where somebody asks say then tiawo na dey talk so different from wetin the Truth and Reconciliation Commission say no, e not different at all. Na a progression, a number of things then dey na the TRC report wey for able for stabilize democracy. This question of constitutionalism, we get for try as best as possible when we look at the constitution. 132 recommendation. The government get for try for look at them and open up the discussion again and move on to the stage of the white paper also will be there. So a lot of things then they will get for happen for consolidate democracy and by extension consolidate the peace.
This platform where na the National Peace Conference where everybody for go and talk. Government don't dey ask for frank discussion, but again most people believe say mistake them be happen before will lead to this particular tension within the country, like the issues of inclusiveness. Certain people and be feel say me for be don't be part of governance, but they not include me because me na opposition. After this frank discussion, as expert in governance, you think say opportunity go there for correct their mistake, then they and bring everybody together in the governance process?
In fact, I think say the challenge na tolerance, not to exclusion. One thing we will not realize now that opposition are part of government. Many a times the discussion is skewed. There's a difference between political party and the state, but many a times we too don't see a state party conflation, where they see the ruling party, it's all like here and the state now the same thing and they talk. But the opposition is also part of government because the government has three arms. You get executive, you get parliament, you get judiciary. So the opposition, the parties are fundamental to any democratic setting. And but waiting, I think, then are the biggest challenge na political tolerance. Oh, we don't want them also for calm. Let them want to keep na the lane. No, democracy they function so. Democracy they function with an inclusive arrangement and for make provision for different people. I hear some people when they talk the kind of suggestion we civil society be they talk over the last 2 days. People and they say we can forget a culture, a political culture in which even issues around financial oversight, let be say even a parliament that the opposition they head them. So when you see people begin to talk so, it means say with the open room for inclusivity, with the open room for political tolerance. So I think say we get for understand say democracy is not about our time. Democracy is not about a set of people. It's about how we're able to integrate the society for the common good.
All right. Continue for the way to the program quickly, Dr. Aissata Mahoy. The area of peace now one way really important right now in the country. Begin from the citizen them, with political leader them and all. After this Bintumani conference, also government say let everybody go talk, get a frank discussion. You dey foresee say peace go come again na the country among the citizens them, especially the political leader them, the opposition and government.
Yes, Khadija, for answer your question shortly, peace go come. And then one thing when we know, any country will not get peace, development not go ever come in that country there. Because anyhow the people then try, if they not there as one, if one word not there, development not go ever come. Because I think say when we get one word, now that time we go for build, waiting on actually they work towards. And in terms of civil society monitoring the process for ensure say peace go there, now continue dialogue. Okay. The need for dialogue it really rife. I think so for always continue the engagement, then do then short with diplomacy for make we see say collapse in this country also, because we no want for go back say we don't come out, and I think so for try for make the road straight for peace. We don't see country that we get peace, how developed they are and how that will benefit the kingdom and the future generation.
You call for dialogue between who that?
Well, everybody, because if people in the field say then they left out, they are being left out. I think say we need for the engaging people and they talk to them, waiting at the problems and try for find out them problem. And it can be between political parties, it can be between other state functionaries, it can be between each and every institution, just for make we promote peace amongst ourselves.
All right, Dr. Mahoy, continue for the between at the studio. We listen to Walkabout and can continue the program.
Ate monge banya ate monge ate na Because I want me attention to what about at the yeto. And they walk about you know him. It's a long and a patrol them put in the military patrol at 19 to go in. Not the table. Not police job the one the world so they can connect. Nine that they walk about. It's a so that do the work effective one. Not about me fear now. Not them blood and the for left, not able. If we've been there, some of the ones and they will collect salary, will begin pulling at that much more and give you one the way that you for you. Imagine police go and they don't. I think it's that I will feel, boy, I will feel. I tell you, I'm moving on that table. What a logo. Ate Joseph man election bo. Ate Joseph man election bo. Ate but any kind way. Not a peace for the people at man, not the white people so change. I say thank God we only get you for can go be too money. I say Papa God, I tell you I give me the same kind luck when Minister of Water Resources get. I say because I always think difficult to water business. Going a man of church. Me na Jonah Buakabot.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue, and we will look at other issues of the program now. Also, the regional manager for the Second Construction Company Salone Limited, Mohamed Lamimba, don't say because then they get serious challenge them, like for relocate EDSA pole them and self drainage and other one they make they're not able for done the Atlantic Beach Road, Juba and Babadori Road them inside May where them be said them go done this project. Mohamed Lamimba talk this way the Salone Road Safety Authority go inspect the different road projects them where the Second Construction Company, Gento Group and CSC they do na different parts in Africa. Princess Piers gets more on this and go reports.
This being time, the Ministry of Finance be don give over 300 billion loans to construction company them for road them. Some of them company are na Second Construction Company where they do the Babadori Juba, Atlantic Beach Road and other area them. Gento Group of Company where they do the Ilcott Road and CSC and other company them where according to this project they road here for done inside May this year. For see how them project here they go, make the Salone Roads Authority don't go work on some of them project sites here. Sorry Ibrahim Kanu, now the public relations officer talk about waiting and fan out from the worker where they go do.
Yeah, they inspect several projects. We know say there was a memorandum of understanding will be signed with the government and the various contractors in October, and those projects are timeline. Some people would expect them for done this May. We can't see how far they're down, noting fully well that the earliest, one of the most recently we expect them project for finish May 31. Second Construction Company Salone Limited, we then get Atlantic Juba Road. We see the Atlantic Juba Road is fairly completed, and of course the bridge, substantial work have been done on the bridge, although enough to traffic. We also watch Babadori Regent Road. We don't see works where do drainage works and they go on. We find out say then get some challenges.
So Ibrahim Kanu continue say then go help them contractor the year for see how they go address the challenge them where then they get by way how they go talk with people them we get property na side where the work they be.
Position of property, not on new things. We don't face them problem in there. We also have the issue of location of utilities. These are issues, particularly in Freetown where we know people houses when they get for acquire house, the person get lawyer and the other things. But we are engaging with those people then for try to understand how we will proceed and do before.
But why they not done some of the road them yet? I talked with the regional manager for the Second Construction Company Salone Limited, Mohamed Lamimba, and we get this for say.
Now they do 4 roads there on this particular project. They do Atlantic Beach Road, Juba. They do the Babadori regions. They do the Mina Drive. They do the Sugarland. Well, now almost 2 done in completion. This don't complete, Sugarland don't complete, and almost the Atlantic Juba instead don't complete. They just remain the Babadori and the Mina Drive. Now the road them will get boku obstruction in the road. Could not able to meet to target. To target now for this May, end of this May, for the roads there. But because of the obstruction the way we get, people fences there now, the utilities, understand, unable to achieve that one there at all. Like the EDSA, the pole them at the road. Then get for relocate and for now get the width of the road. The Guma pipe they waiting at the road. Then get for remove them because now all the road they waiting they do. They know they allow the Guma pipe them for pass at the road. The Seratel pull them back. They need for remove them. And some side and day, we know they get the road with pass, we relocate the fence there. So we can get target with the owners there of the fence, then they follow it. Like the drainage, the fence construction, can subcontract.
Then contractor them here end up assure SLRC, then go down the road here before the year done. For Radio Democracy, Princess Piasley reports.
We will continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We wrap up the program now, Mr. Lahai. Going forward after the Bintumani conference, what thing we need as a nation for maintain peace and national cohesion?
Good question. I think we need for drop that thing where we get as a nation, that thing where they call suspicion. We're too suspicious of ourselves. The other thing that dialogue means while they talk to you, you for listen, and we say they talk to me, I for listen. Let we use this Bintumani 3 for open up the space. Right. Make we use them for able for deepen we civic culture. Make we also able for use them for deepen what we need for socialize as Sierra Leoneans. And more importantly, let we know if we not do them, what it does is that it deepen the fragility of the state. And when the state continues to be fragile, it's difficult for let you see peace, and it's difficult for let you see what we call national cohesion. Right. So let we also guard ourselves, with what we call conflict sensitive issues. Them things that we go make something will happen if this happen. So let we use this as an opportunity, and I want to ask everybody, political parties, civil society, other organizations, faith-based organizations, youth and persons with disability, for let we all support this process so that Salone go better for we all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lahai. Quickly, Marcella, in the area of good governance, going forward after the National Peace Conference, what do you think government for do for maintain good governance?
I think we for put all the various concepts and ideas into practice. If fine for we don't go sit down at that conference we create an opportunity for people then for dialogue and put the issues on the table. Let we also come back and use the concepts and for design and chart the way forward for the progress of the nation. As Aki always they say, the thing the way they divide they're not boku. Okay. The opportunities the way we get as a nation. This night country, we get untapped resources, we get young people, we get a lot of resources we can use for we get the full potential of our nation state. We get diversity, we get intermarriages, we get religious tolerance. Then tin and day now for all for make we country grow. The final thing we want for talk about, even as we reflect on the peace infrastructure, let the independence of that particular commission they stand out, because now go be the kind of unifier we go bring all shades and opinion together for let we forge ahead. Because if we are apart, everybody think and hold in your space, we're not able for progress as a nation.
All right, Dr. Mahoy, people hopeful say this conference go bridge the gap between we political leader them and at least less the tension within now in building the peace going forward as a government. Waiting them for do for maintain the peace if we were able to get time after this dialogue session.
Okay, as a government, I think we need for promote inclusion. This will be a government of inclusion. We need for promote dialogue, encourage dialogue, allow people for talk waiting we feel say they monitor them, and how for make peace amongst ourselves. I think say then thing then they go make salon go before. Then on another note, I think say people then also for be like the mindset for try for begin change with mindset from negativity to a positive one. So then they also go help salon, and I think say that go promote peace in this country.
All right, plenty thank you for joining at the program this morning. Dr. Azisa Mahoy. We will also get Marcela Sambasese and Seth Charles Lahai from different civil society organizations. Then we can talk about the National Peace Cohesion Commission Conference. We go be on the 23rd to the 25th of this month. So now thank you for the program this morning. Yourself, we send a text message, plenty thank you to you, and we want to say thank you to the production team. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Kuromare produced the program. DJ Lava we give it technical support. Moses Kavra and Timmy Kona see you live na Facebook. So till we meet again, Mabel Kabade, say get yourself a wonderful week.
And Mina Karija Bangwa, they say have a nice day.